I'm Christine, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here to chat about historical fiction releases for 2025 that are on my radar. Alright, I am so excited to do this video today. So I was currently looking up historical fiction releases for 2025, and I thought it would be a fun way to kind of just talk about them all in a video so that I myself can then remember to get to them when the time comes, as well as just to share them and chat about all of them, because there's a ton that are coming out next year that I'm super excited for. So I mainly read romance books, but honestly at the end of the day, I just love a good story. So any genre of book I'm going to pick up and I'm going to enjoy it. If it's a good story, it's a good plot. I love history, so I've always really loved historical fiction, which during the summer of 2024, just this past year that we're leaving behind now, my friend Tori and I from Novel Life, we ended up starting a historical fiction book club because we both love historical fiction books so much, and we wanted a way to kind of incorporate historical fiction reads into our reading every month. And so it was a book club we wanted to do for a while and finally started it in July of 2024. So we had 6 months of really great reads, and it also just helped both of us kind of pick up historical fiction more than we had in the past and kind of just make those a part of our TBRs again and just kind of like reignite our love for historical fiction books. So I have loved that for the journey of 2024, and I'm so excited to continue into 2025. And actually a lot of my favorite books of the year are going to be some historical fiction books on my list for 2024, which of course that will be coming later on this month. But for today, I'm excited to talk about the 2025 historical fiction releases. I think I have just about 20, if not 20, I might have like 19 that I'm going to talk about. So let's get into these. I'm going to be definitely going by my notes that I pulled up for myself and like the blurbs and the covers and all of those, because obviously I haven't read these books. They're not out yet. I don't know what they're going to be about. So we are just going to start in January. So I kind of have them by month. And I think these are like January through August, because some of the ones later on in the year, either their release dates haven't come out yet or I just don't know about them. So I am excited to get into these. So let's start it off in January. So on January 7th is The Lotus Shoes by Jan Yang. So this one is set in 1800s China, and it says that two women's lives are bound together by the cruelty of societal expectations. One of them is sold into slavery and the other one is poised for marriage. They find their lives upended by jealousy, alliance, and shared hardship. The Lotus Shoes is a deeply moving tale of class, ambition, and friendship set against the backdrop of a rigid social hierarchy. As they navigate love and loyalty, both women confront the limits and risks of societal ascent. So this one sounds really, really good, and I love how striking the cover is, just like the bold wording on here as well. Very excited to pick this one up. All right, now on February, there's actually quite a few on February 4th in particular, which is interesting, and so I'm excited for a ton of these, so let's get into them. All right, the first one on February 4th is Harlem Rap City by Victoria Christopher Murray. So this one says that in 1919, a high school teacher from Washington, D.C. arrives in Harlem, excited to realize her lifelong dream. So it says she's been named the first Black woman literary editor of The Crisis, so she's holding a prominent position at a magazine. So it says she's poised to achieve literary greatness, but she holds a secret that jeopardizes it all. Discover the extraordinary story of the woman who ignited the Harlem Renaissance. So that one sounds, again, the cover, stunning. Love the color, the teal and kind of like the maroon on top with the orange background. Very excited to check this one out. It sounds amazing, and I'm excited to check out like other time frames of historical fiction as well, instead of like always centered around World War II time frame. I love seeing other historical time periods as well. Another one on February 4th is Isola by Allegra Goodman. So this one sounds, first of all, again, these covers, they're so striking and they're so beautiful, and it's hard not to like judge things by their cover, but this one is really pretty and honestly grabbed my attention before I even read the blurb. So this one says a young woman and her lover are marooned on an island in this breathtaking saga, an epic story of love, faith, and defiance, inspired by the real life of a 16th century heroine. Isola, I'm probably saying that wrong, is the timeless story of a woman fighting for survival. Ooh, 16th century? I'm excited to check this one out as well. So far, all of these authors are going to be new to me authors as well, which I love to find new to me authors. All right, we also have Junie on February 4th. So this is by Aaron Crosby Eckstein. I'm terrible at names sometimes. This one says a young girl must face a life-altering decision after awakening her sister's ghost, navigating truths about love, friendship, and power as the Civil War looms. Ooh, this cover, gorgeous. I think this is a debut. I could be wrong though. Let me check. Okay, yeah, this one is a debut from the author, so I'm very excited to check it out. I know it's gotten a ton of buzz. I saw this one actually featured on multiple lists when I was compiling my 2025 historical fiction list. So a ton of people, this book, people are excited for it, and so am I. All right, and then the last one for February 4th on my list is Last Twilight in Paris by Pam Jenoff. So this one actually, my friend Monica ended up sending me this one because she was like, hey, I just saw this one is available to hold on Libby, so I'm gonna put in an early hold. And And at the same time, I was researching 2025 historical fiction lists and then saw it on there as well. So good eye on that one, Monica. So this one says, inspired by true events, Last Twilight in Paris reveals the influence of memory, survival, and the lasting impact of war. Set in London in 1953, Louise finds a necklace from a Parisian department store that transports her back to life during Nazi-occupied Europe. Convinced it's linked to her friend Franny's mysterious death, Louise heads to Paris, reconnecting with her former boss and love interest, Ian. Last Twilight in Paris is a riveting novel that will have readers hooked from the start and in awe of the human spirit. This cover as well is just like, I don't know, the cover game is it for 2025. So this one, it says that the author is the best-selling author of The Lost Girls of Paris. I feel like I've seen that title, that name before, and I know I've heard of this author. I just haven't tried them out yet either, so I'm excited for all these new to me authors. All right, and then on February 18th, we have Maya and Natasha by Elise Durham. So this one, this one is also a debut. So this is the stunning debut novel set in the fascinating world of Cold War Soviet ballet, follows the fates of twin sisters whose bond is competitive, complicated, but never broken. Maya and Natasha are twin sisters born in the midst of the siege of Leningrad in 1941 and immediately abandoned by their mother, a prima ballerina at the Kirov Ballet, who would rather die than not dance. Taken in by their mother's best friend, the girls are raised to be dancers themselves, and then it goes into 1958 when they are now seniors at this ballet academy, and it is the height of the Cold War. So this one sounds really, really interesting, and it is again a debut from an author, so I'm excited to check this one out. I think the cover, again, these covers, I feel like the covers are really selling it for 2025. All right, on February 25th, we have Fagin the Thief by Allison Epstein. So this one, let's see, a thrilling reimagining of the world of Charles Dickens as seen through the eyes of the infamous Jacob Fagin, London's most gifted pickpocket, liar, and rogue. Colorfully written and wickedly funny, Allison breathes fresh life into the teeming streets of Dickinson's London, reclaiming one of Victorian literature's most notorious villains in an unforgettable new adventure. So I'm excited to check this one out. I feel like this character, this very like Oliver Twist vibe, has been featured in some other media I have consumed in the past year or more. So at the beginning of this year, I watched the Hulu show, The Artful Dodger, which features this character in the series as well and kind of follows these children who were raised by this kind of man of the streets who would teach children to thieve and gamble and pickpocket and all of those things, which that show is so good and highly recommend if you haven't checked it out yet. Also has like a romance moment in here as well. It's just so stinking good. I love that show. And also if you've read the Lorraine Heath's Scoundrels of St. James series, which if you haven't and you loved historical romance, please go read it because it's one of my favorite series. But anyways, that series as well, we feature kind of a take on that tale as well and see these children who are raised on the streets by this man who kind of collected children, I'll say, and used them to thieve and gamble and loot and steal from people and kind of all of those like trickery things on the streets. So yeah, both of those as well kind of deal with this Fagin character. So I'm excited to check out this one. That's why it grabbed my attention as well. So yeah, this one is out on February 25th. All right, then on March 4th, we have One Good Thing by Georgia Hunter. So this one, let's see, I'm not gonna lie, the cover for this one actually didn't pull me in as much as some of these other ones, but it does feel very typical historical fiction cover at the same time. So let's see, this one says, if you read We Were the Lucky Ones or watched the Hulu adaptation, get ready to be swept away by Georgia Hunter's latest novel, One Good Thing. I have not read or watched that previous thing, so maybe I should. This one says, an unforgettable story of friendship and resilience set against the backdrop of World War II Italy. Best friends Lily and Esty are inseparable and not even war can come in between them, or so they thought. One Good Thing is a testament to courage, sacrifice, and unbreakable bonds. Readers will be reminded of the extraordinary power of love, even in the darkest of times. So that one does sound interesting in following these women's friendship and set in Italy, which if I'm going to read World War II, I kind of want it to be in a different area than what I usually see. So I am interested in that one as well. Let me know if you've read that other book / series they talked about from the author, We Were the Lucky Ones. Let me know if it's good and if I should check it out. All right, then also on March 4th, we have The Girl from Greenwich Street by Lauren Willig, and I am very excited for this one. First of all, the little like tagline blurb on it says a novel of Hamilton Burr and America's first murder trial, which if you don't know this about me, I am obsessed, like extremely obsessed with Hamilton, just the creation of the music. I am hardcore obsessed. I actually still watch like reaction people's videos on YouTube and just like breaking down of the history and the lines and the bars and all the moments within the songs and the music choices. I'm obsessed, like hardcore. I still watch those and obsess over them still. So anyways, when I saw this one was the murder trial that kind of Hamilton and Burr reference in the musical, as well as obviously it was a real historical murder trial. I've always been interested in it. And so when I saw there's a book coming out for this, I immediately requested it on NetGalley. So I have an arc of this and I need to read it soon because it just sounds so interesting. Like not even because of the Hamilton like references, but just in general, like history wise. So let me get into the blurb because that was a whole little side tangent. All right, so like I said, this one says it is a novel of Hamilton, Burr, and America's first murder trial. So it says in 1799 Manhattan, the murder of Elma Sands ignites a scandal that forces bitter rivals Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr to collaborate in a case that could shake New York's foundations. As they unravel the secrets surrounding Elma's life, the story unfolds as a courtroom thriller of mystery and intrigue. Based on the true story of a famous trial, The Girl from Greenwich Street captures the grit and uncertainty of a new century and the precarious line between justice and revenge. Very excited for all the reasons I already named for this one on March 4th. All right, and then on March 11th, we have The Antidote by Karen Russell. So this one sounds a little different than some of the other ones I've been talking about, but I'm equally as excited. So this says a gripping Dust Bowl epic about 5 characters whose fates become entangled after a storm ravages their small Nebraskan town. Above all, this novel is a reckoning of a nation's forgetting, enacting the settler amnesia and willful omissions passed down from generation to generation, and unearthing not only horrors, but shimmering possibilities. The Antidote echoes with urgent warnings for our own climate emergency, challenging readers with a vision of what might have been and what still could be. So it says this author is the best-selling author of Swamplandia. Never heard of that, but I am intrigued. Again, the cover and just kind of the conversation about this one, I'm very pulled in to this one. So yeah, very excited. I have read another like Dust Bowl centered book, which was The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, which I loved. So I'm just kind of intrigued by that kind of time period in general, the Great Depression, all of those things. It sounds kind of boring, but like I'm intrigued, so I'm excited for that one. All right, and then on April 8th, we have Happy Land by Dolan, Perkins, Valdez. I am so excited for this one. So I just read this author for the first time. I read Take My Hand just back in November. Loved it so much. It was such a powerful story and just so, it was everything. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year. And so this author just in general is on my, she's going to be on my radar. She's going to be on my TBR. So this is her newest release, which comes out in April. So this one says a woman learns the astonishing truth of her family's tie to a vanished American kingdom in this riveting new novel. Inspired by true events, Happy Land is a transporting multi-generational novel about the stories that shape us and the dazzling courage it takes to dream. This cover, stunning, like obsessed, love it so much. The bright colors, it just looks gorgeous. And the way the title pops on here, it's actually kind of giving me vibes of Midsummer. If you've seen that movie, you've seen that cover, then you know. Not saying this book is going to be like that, but that's what the cover is reminding me of. So I am very excited to get to this one. Like I said, this author is just like done deal for me. Like I read Take My Hand and immediately knew it was going to be a 5-star read just off of her writing. And so I'm excited for anything she puts out in the future. So very, very excited for this one. All right, on April 15th, we have The Eights by Joanna Miller. And so let's see, this one says, following the unlikely friendship of 4 women in the first female class at Oxford, their unshakable bond in the face of male contempt, and in their coming of age in a world forever changed by World War I, a captivating debut about sisterhood, determination, and courage. So I've mentioned recently I want to pick up more books around World War I, and so this is a new one. It's a debut and centered around these women in Oxford. I'm very excited to get to it. If you have other like World War I recs that are amazing, let me know in the comments as well, because I want to pick up more of those going forward into 2025 in general. They don't have to be new releases, but any that you've loved, I would love to know. I'm very excited for this one, and yeah, can't wait to check it out. On April 22nd, we have Zeal by Morgan Jerkins. So this one says, in a story that spans generations, Zeal transports readers between 1865 post-Civil War to Harlem in 2019. In 2019, readers will meet Ardelia and Oliver at their engagement party, where he gives Ardelia a love letter that looks older than they've been alive. Meanwhile, another love story is disrupted by war, and when he returns home, he's desperate to be reunited with his true love. Jerkins skillfully explores themes of race, identity, and family lineage while weaving together the past and present in a novel as rich in historical detail as it is in emotional depth. This one sounds really good. It's actually kind of reminding me of Homegoing by Ya Jesse that I read this past year, and I loved that book so much that it was kind of this multi-generational story following one family, and it did span 300 years, I want to say, with the family. Love that book to pieces. It's kind of giving me similar vibes. Like the color of the cover and also kind of that storyline a little bit. Not too much, because also this feels like it's just jumping between 2 times. Either way, I'm very excited, so can't wait to check that one out. All right, so then we have the book club for Troublesome Women by Marie Boswick on April 22nd. And so not gonna lie, the cover, I was kind of like, I don't know. But then I read the synopsis and it kind of pulled me in. So I'm kind of intrigued. So let's see, it says, in early 1960s Virginia, suburban housewives Margaret, Viv, and Bitsy appear to have it all but feel something crucial is missing. They find a new purpose in a book club where they discover Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique, sparking questions about their roles and desires. Guided by their unconventional neighbor Charlotte, they awaken the possibility of a different life, forging bonds that reshape their futures. This heartfelt story explores friendship, identity, and the courage to pursue change in a transformative era. So I'm kind of intrigued by this one, and I'd probably put like an audio holdout for it for sure. Sounds kind of good. And then on May 6th, this is another one that was featured heavily on a ton of different lists for 2025 releases. So I'm excited to check it out as well and be in the know. So this one is My Name is Amelia Duval by Isabelle Alind. I could have pronounced both of those names horribly wrong. My apologies in advance. Maybe I got them right. Who knows? This one says, in San Francisco in 1866, an Irish nun, abandoned following a torrid relationship, gives birth to a daughter named Amelia Duval. Raised by a loving stepfather, Amelia grows into an independent thinker and a self-sufficient young woman. This is a riveting tale of self-discovery and love from one of the most masterful storytellers of our time. This story introduces a character who will never let go of your heart. So I'm excited. I've actually never heard of this author. So let me know if you have read their books before, because it sounds like their books are amazing. So I'm excited. So then on May 20th, we have The Girls of Good Fortune by Christina McMorris. Again, this cover, I love a bold cover. I love the color red, and so I'm very pulled into this cover immediately. So this one, let's see, it says that she came from a lineage known for good fortune by those who don't know the whole story. Ooh, okay, wait, this one says it takes place in Portland in 1888. Amid the labyrinth of the notorious Shanghai tunnels, a woman awakens in an underground cell, drugged and disguised. Celia soon realizes that she's a Shanghaied victim on the verge of being shipped off as forced labor, leaving behind those she loves the most. Ooh, okay. Although well accustomed to adapting for survival, being half Chinese, passing as white during an era fraught with anti-Chinese sentiment, she fears that far more than her own fate lay at stake. Ooh, this sounds really, really good. I don't want to read the rest, but let me read the bottom. So a captivating tale of resilience and hope. The Girls of Good Fortune explores the complexity of family and identity, the importance of stories that echo through generations, and the power of strength found beneath the surface. Okay, so that one sounds really powerful, really good, and I'm very excited that I found that one because I can't wait to check it out in May. All right, then jumping into June. So on June 3rd, we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one kind of hurts me that they're classifying it as historical fiction because it takes place in the 80s. And as a child who was born in the 80s, that just feels a certain kind of way to me. But anyways, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read all of her books, and so I'm highly anticipating this book as well. And if that means I can throw it on my historical fiction books for 2025, I will do it. All right, so this one says it is set against the backdrop of the 1980s space shuttle program about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits. So this one, I believe we're following women on NASA's space shuttle program in the 80s. So it says Joan Goodwin has been obsessed with the stars for as long as she can remember. Thoughtful and reserved, she is content with her life as a professor of physics and astronomy at Rice University. That is until she comes across an advertisement seeking the first women scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. Suddenly, Joan burns to be one of the few people to go to space. And so it's the 1980s, the summer of 1980. She begins training at Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates, 3 other women, a Top Gun pilot, and a scientist. So I am excited to check that one out. And again, I feel a certain way about the 1980s being classified as historical fiction, but it's fine. I'll get over it for a new Taylor Jenkins Reid book. All right, and then on July 1st, we have The Lost Story of Ava Fuentes by Chanel Clayton. This is her newest release, and I'm so excited for it. I recently read all of her historical fiction books just in the past couple months. I read the first one, was obsessed, and binged all of her historical fiction books, which I have a whole guide or kind of review to those on my channel as well. If you want to check it out, I'll link it in the description of the video too, and you can be as excited about her books as I am. So this one's out on July 1st. It says a mysterious book with a legacy spanning from the beginning of the 20th century to present day unites 3 women in this unforgettable novel. We follow 3 different timelines. So London 2024, we have Havana 1966, and Boston 1900. So I am very excited. I don't even want to read the full blurb because I love just going into Chanel Clayton's books kind of without knowing what they're about and just being swept up. She does such a good job of blending amazing writing with history. She usually has some romances thrown in there as well, and I'm just very excited. The friendships, the women that she follows in her stories, I can't wait to check this one out on July 1st. And then the last one that I have have on my list releases in August. So this is The Seeker of Lost Paintings by Sarah Freethy, and this is out on August 28th. So this one I'm actually excited to get to because during our Leave It to the Pros, our historical fiction book club for, I want to say October, we read The Porcelain Maker, which was the debut book from this author. And so this is going to be their second book, and I'm very excited to check it out in August. So this one says a sophisticated and thrilling historical page turner about love and art spanning Geneva, Rome, and London. So this one says that it has 3 love stories told across 4 centuries and a search for a missing masterpiece. So I am very excited. I don't want to read too much else about this one. I'm just excited to check it out. I know that when I read The Porcelain Maker, it was very obvious that the author is interested in kind of the art aspect of things with history, and so no surprise that she's doing one about some lost paintings. So I'm excited to get into this one. Like I said, it comes out on August 28th. So yeah, I can't wait for that one as well. All right, so those are the 2025 historical fiction releases that I could find that are on my TBR. I'm sure there are countless more that I don't even know about yet that I will want to get to in the new year as well. So definitely let me know in the comments if there were any that you know about coming out in 2025 that you're excited for and that should also be on my TBR. Let me know. Let me know if you plan on picking any of these up or you're adding any of these to your TBR. I am so excited for honestly all of them, and so I had to come and gush about them all with you. And like I said at the beginning, if you love historical fiction and want to join a historical fiction book club that's very chill and relaxed, that we all pick a book, read it on our own time, and then towards the end of the month we have a live show on YouTube, and then we just chat about our thoughts and all of our feelings about the book, then definitely join the Leave It to the Pros book club that I co-host with Tori from Novel Life. We always share all of our book picks and the live show dates and all of that. We have an Instagram specifically for Leave It to the Pros book club. Again, they're all linked in the description of my video. So definitely check it out, join us. Let me know if you're going to pick up any of these books in 2025, or like I said, if you have any historical fiction books that you know are released in 2025, let me know that too, because I want all of them on my TBR. And if you'd rather leave me an emoji in the comments today to let me know that you watched this video, leave me like the earth, the globe emoji, because I feel like with all of these books, all of these time periods, we're going to be traveling all over the world with these reads next year. So definitely do that. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I will see you in my next one.